Well, now we have our CTC DIY 3D printer all built. Now, then the first step before you use it and you print your first figure will be calibrate the bed and calibrate these two axes. Okay, before we dive into this, let me talk about some troubles that I have found on the internet and that I have even found myself using the 3D printer. I must say that I have already used it to test it. I have installed the software. I have print some figures with it. Not a very good quality, but fair enough. But I found some trouble that is quite important and serious that can damage your printer or even worse, your entire house. I'm talking about bad connections. Okay, if you see here are all the connections that connects the extruder, the stepper motors, the final rail controls, the display, all goes to the control board, okay? But there are some that are a bit important that you should know. Let me get a close view from the camera that you understand what I'm talking about. For example, here there is a connector that has the limitation of the extruder. It has a continuously voltage, but if there is a bad connection in here, look what it happens here. It already is burned, and I ask to the I can take it out that you see better. If you see here, it's all burned, and this can damage your printer or even worse, your entire house. That I have seen in some articles on the internet that people with the 3D printers have a very seriously things that happen in their house. So the solution in here, the first step, we need to replace this connector. But if you are building a new one, and to prevent to happen things like this, you should check that all connections make a good connection, because this problem is because the connection is like intermittent, you know? Think that my finger and this cable here is the connection, and it's a little bit touching just the surface, and when the printer starts working with the vibrations, it starts just okay, connected, not connected, connected, not connected, like this. The problem is that all these vibrations is translated to one sparkle that it's on and on repeatedly, and then happens just this, burns the connection. And the next step of this is a flame that burns all your 3D printer, and the next step is to burn all your house. So you have to be aware of this. You know, this is a cheap printer. You can build it for a cheap price, but all the connectors are not the best quality, and it's very important. I learned it from the failure, you know. The most important here is to check mainly the resistance, like this one, because this is hitting a lot and it has a high temperature, a high voltage here, having alimentation to this unit. And also in the bed. In the bed, these cables go out from here and goes right here, have also to be very precisely checked. In this case the connection is very good, and here there is not connection. It's already going to the resistance that hit all the bed. So now what I'm going to do, first of all, before calibrating and before other things that we will see, like software that we should install on the computer and see how the printer works, before all this stuff we are going to check connections. Okay, and in my case maybe some of you found the same problem, and on time, not your house entire house. That is not a joke. You know, it's so seriously, because you go away, you let your printer working in your house, and then it's so serious that someone can die, you know. Then I'm going to replace the connector that I have buy in an electronic shop. This connector, it costs about, let me check in the receipt. It costs, let me see, here it's not so expensive. This is the, okay, it's about one piece, and the other one it's about €1. Okay, then in here where the connector is born, what I'm going to do here is replace this male and this female. Okay, we're gonna retire on here on the control board. I'm gonna retire this. I should unmount all the unit and disconnect all cables, and now I will take advantage of this, and I will take even all the cables in here, all the cables of all the line, the end of lines, and all the stuff that it has a really good connection, because I'm not really comfortable before seeing this, you know. It's a 1mm that it should work fine. So first of all, in here I'm going to retire this, taking out all the tin from here, and then I'm gonna plug and connect the new one, checking out that the connection is really good. So let's do it. Okay, I have already disconnected all the cables from the control board, and for helping me I have, let me show you, well, these ones have already one label here that help, if you see here, this one, that helps me to know where is it connected. But here it's confusing if you're not very good at it. So if you see here, I put with a permanent SX here to know that in the SX connection here goes this connector. Okay, once I have disconnect all the things and mark it to help me to connect again, I will dismount from here, from the fan supports, all the control board. So helping me a bit with this tool. One by one, and I will remove. Okay, done. Okay, if you see here with a more detail, okay, yeah, focus, thank you. If you see here, it's a all the plastic melted, and the connector is black, it's burned. Well, in here we should take out all this tin, and then once we have this connector, remove it. We're going, what is the new one? You see, it's the same distance. We're going to plug this one, and we're going to connect again all connections. So let's go ahead. Okay, I have trouble with the video camera, and I didn't record how to disconnect the connector that goes here. I just with the water heated, I put here in the tin, and when it is melting, just I pull out with this tool, and then I have this space free again to connect the new connector. Okay, for the new connector, now I'll show you how to connect. It's so easy, just melting again here, that you can pass the pins through the board. Okay, just hitting here and passing the pin. Okay, it's not passing, maybe you have to make some pressure in it. Okay, I will use the table like this. If you see here, I melt this here. Okay, it is ready. You see, it's perfectly push it in with the board. And now, using the thin wire, I'm going to make better connection in here. One, and the other one. Okay, now we have replaced the connector, and just we have to put these two cables in here. So let's disconnect the welder. Here I'm gonna use this to mount these two cables. Okay, and now these two cables go right here, and with the connector well connected. I'm gonna use this precise tool. I think it's better here. If not, maybe I should find, because I think this one is so big for here. Yeah, it's so big. Let me find another one. Okay. Okay, here, okay. If you see, that is the thing that cannot happen. The connector should be really well connected. So, okay, because it's in the other, it's in here. Okay, I've seen it. Okay, now it's really good connected here. You can check with a tester from the connection here to this screw in here to see if there is a continuous connection, but it's supposed to be so. And even I don't have a tester, so I don't wanna do it, but it's better than the other thing we had. And the connection is, this connector is far enough good that this one that made a very bad connection with the control board. Okay, and now once is these two firmly connected, you can check and pull out and see that are both in place and will not remove, just connect in place. And this is how you can replace the connector if you have this problem. Now I'm going to connect one by one all the connections and check one by one if there are cables that maybe go away, or here that you have these connectors are really good, you cannot move it out. So I think are good, all of them, but not bad to check one by one while we are connecting. Okay, so I will mount again the control board. I don't want to show you this because it's the same thing that we did but the other way. Connect again all the cables that we have already labeled, and let's go ahead for see the calibration, and then we are going to see how the software works in the computer and how we can print things